It's interesting. I usually try not to watch my videos back. I used to do that. I used to watch them back, and I just watched my most recent one back, and I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? It's like I can follow what I'm saying because obviously I was the person that said it, but we know when you can see yourself in hindsight, oftentimes I notice, at least in that video and, subsequent videos that came before that. I don't even know if that was the right order of words. I just said that in. The light is like the energy is flowing, and I like interrupt myself and I'm learning how to be articulate for, I want to say, a general audience, but I've just kind of accepted that at this point, this is just kind of like my own public diary and stream of consciousness of me processing my experience and perception filters on what it's like to be alive on planet Earth. And I'm not performing anything, at least that I'm not aware of. I'm just trying to make sense of life and ultimately express myself. And I have so much, it feels like when I look at myself back, at myself, I'm like, wow, I have so much still to go. I had that video that I shared recently. I think the title was like, why am I still like this? I think I'm just kind of processing, maybe still on like subtle levels, the fact that I'm really still here on planet Earth, and that I potentially have like so many more years on this planet, And so if I keep that in mind, I don't try to zoom out into the grand arc. Like, yeah, I may have some intuitive understanding that I may have some intuitive understanding that life may like evolve in certain ways, but nothing ever is what it seems to be. You have some intuitive impulse that something will end up happening, and it does, but not in the way that you think. And so, just trying to let go and surrender. And I really highly recommend sharing yourself on YouTube, because it is potentially such a triggering experience, and it forces you to look at your reactions and go from there. Like if I was just in my own echo chamber inside my head, which I'm often am, I live a pretty solitude life. I'm in the world, I'm interfacing with people, I'm connecting with people, but and I'm also a mother, and so half my time is, full on with that, and my life is pretty full on, but oftentimes I have a lot of time to self-reflect and be in my own thoughts, and not just my own thoughts, but studying the teachings and connecting with something higher than myself. And that's like my safe space, obviously, because that's the closest thing that I have to oneness, is connecting with something greater than myself. And so, I don't know where I was going with that. Here I go again. I guess I'm just saying that, like, I'm not here to do anything, prove anything. I'm just trying to, I don't know, I'm not even trying to do anything. I'm just expressing myself from where I'm at. Yo? You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to be anything else, I do have, when I think about the long view, I'm like, good God almighty. I mean, it's good because I have probably it probably means I just have a lot of psychology to resolve, because, man, I've had a very complicated and complex and interesting, mental psychology in this lifetime. And it probably is going to take decades to work through it all, I came in here with a lot of baggage, yo. I came in here with a lot of trauma. And with trauma and baggage, meaning like perception filters that I need to transcend and consistently let go of. And there's no pressure. There ain't no pressure. I am not on anybody else's timeline. I'm just one foot in front of the other. And before you know it, years go by and look at how far you've come. And I have to admit, being a student of the Ascended Master Teachings, life is always very, I don't know if exciting is the word, but it's always very dynamic. I feel like, what's going on here with, it's a shadow. I'm like, what is happening? Everything's very dynamic because everything's always kind of evolving and progressing, and I'm always trying to see more and asking to see more and seeing with what I can with what I've got. Like, I can only see, man, I need to condition my hair, y'all. Goodness me, it's like straw on the ends. I can only see what I can see, and what I don't know what I can't see. From where I'm standing, my ego would like to have me think that things are pretty chill because they feel pretty chill. But it's just because, I'm at where I'm at. But I guess I do feel chill because I'm always willing to see. I'm not afraid to see what I don't want to see. I'm not willing to continue to do this seesawing where I go high and higher in consciousness, and I'm about to break through the collective pull, and then I lose momentum and I go down and I, up and down. I'm just like, get thee behind me, Satan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to continue to play this dance. I just want to flow. And sometimes flowing means looking however you look on the internet. I don't care. I'm just doing my best. Doing my best. It's nice and fuzzy. Can you hear that? It feels nice. So, I don't know. I thought I'd just share that little doozy. And I don't want to feel burdened. I don't know if I feel burdened. I think I ultimately feel like tired physically because I'm just exhausted. I didn't sleep a lot last night. But I don't think I've totally broken through that like 96 level that they talk about in the teachings of just like, I haven't totally broken through yet. I'm right there. I'm coasting right there. But I don't think I've totally broken through. Or at least maybe I have, and I just also need to accept that there's still a lot to resolve in my psychology. One breakthrough after the other. I think at this point I don't really care where I'm at in terms of like the levels. Because it's just like kind of pointless, because once you're flowing and you're going, up, up, up. But it doesn't mean I'm like above anyone, because that's what the ego wants to hear. Like if my ego heard that 2-3 years ago, heard someone say that to me and be like, oh, get out of here, you ego maniac. Who do you think you are thinking that you're above everyone? I am not saying that. You won't hear that come out of my mouth. I've just had enough thinking that I'm above, because usually when you think like that, you are absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody. I hope y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.